So what I'm showing you here is the palace altar to one of the obas. And the first thing you might, realize and look at are these really large pieces of ivory. These are elephant tusks that are carved, so there are 4 of them here. But look what they're actually coming out of. This is the depiction of Oba again, and we have the neck that is covered with the necklaces again, and the hat, which would be made out of coral. And then we have another depiction of the Oba here. And one thing you'll notice is that in all these depictions of the Oba, the head is actually usually quite large. And he actually goes also by the name of Great Head. And this is because the idea is that the head is leading the body because of the mind in the head. We also have down here bells and other symbolic items. And then in the back here, we have these plaques that are leaning against the wall that are representative of different other kings that have lived before in the past, and other symbolic items. Like here again, we see a mudfish, which I talked about in the last video and was also explained in the ArtSmart video that is up. So in Benin art, we have this long tradition of these cast heads, and we've been looking at them over the last couple of weeks. So this is a head from a royal altar, and it is from the Benin early period, which dates to the 15th through the 16th century. The many exact cast brass heads also represent more than 400 years of commemorating Benin kings and queen mothers from the 15th until the late 19th century. It is believed that the thinnest castings, usually the most naturalistic of the head, are the earliest, although some of the features like the nose and the mouth and the eyes are not are kind of like standardized and aren't individualized throughout the heads. And then some scholars believe that the heads of males do not commemorate Benin kings, but rather depict conquered rulers, and that they were displayed on war shrines as trophies of victory. However, early period heads of females clearly depict a queen mother with characteristic tall conical hairstyles overlaid with coral beads. So let's look at a slightly later one here. Oh, let me switch this. So here we have another head of an Oba, and this is Benin middle period. This dates from the 17th to the 18th century. And the middle period, we have the heads are usually heavier and bulkier and taller than the early examples, and this is because they were meant to support the ivory tusks coming out of them. I can show you this again. So it's like one of these. It's got this ivory tusk, carved ivory tusk that would be coming out of the head. So we can't see it, but there's an indentation on the top of this head to hold that ivory tusk or support the ivory tusk. And then we have this, the neck, the head almost looks like it's coming out of the row of the necklaces that, of course, are going to be made out of coral. The hat also, or what is the crown, I should say, is made out of coral. And so it's not maybe as realistic, even in this sense, when we look at it between this one and this one. We can see that they actually become less realistic as we move forward in time. Portuguese ships arrived on the Atlantic shores southwest of Benin in the 1480s, and immediately a trading relationship was established of mutual benefit. From the Portuguese, Benin received cloth, cowrie shells, coral, brass, and eventually weapons, offering in return ivory, spices, and later slaves. So in the beginning here, it was mutual benefit. There was no issues whatsoever between the Benin people and the Portuguese. So here I'm showing you this image of a Portuguese soldier that was cast in metal in Benin in the 16th century. And the images of Portuguese in brass, ivory, and wood appear on regalia, on plaques, and even as freestanding statuary, possibly displayed on altars. And so this is what I'm showing you here. The finely detailed Portuguese soldier shown here almost certainly stood on a royal altar prior to its removal from Benin in 1897, which hopefully you realize now is the British attack on the Benins. The man holds a matchlock, kind of gun he is holding, at the ready, and wears precisely rendered military garments of the style dating from the 16th century. The altered slightly bent knee stance and the position of the arms give the figure a more dramatic pose than those in which Benin officers or Portuguese are usually shown. So he looks like he's in action here. He's about to fire that gun.